Good Monday morning. How is everybody? Everybody good? I hope so. Looks like my Wi-Fi is struggling this morning. Hopefully we don't have issues with it. Anyhow, what are y'all doing? Looks like somebody just got home. Yeah, my wife's home. Sorry. All right. First question. In a submarine, did you have hi-fi earbuds for music during physical training off duty? How do submariners get physical training on the vessel, in the vessel? Well, we had a treadmill. And then we had some weights and stuff like that. But there was one treadmill for about 140 guys, and it was like rubber mounted to the floor. And we did not have, you had whatever you brought. So at the time, like in-ear monitors, earbuds weren't really a thing because this was like the early 2000s. So I had just kind of over the ear with kind of like a portable CD player. So kind of like COS headphones. So that's what I had. I had a portable CD player with probably not very good headphones. Pretty much whatever came with it. I'm going to close my door. Hold on just a second. There we go. All right. Sony Walkman, orange foamies. I didn't even have the Walkman. I had like the COS version. I can't remember exactly what the brand was, but it was definitely not the Sony. I got the generic version, basically. All right. Hey, Randy, have you heard the Skit something 3? Are you planning to review it? I have not heard it. I don't have it in house. I would love to review it though. I love Skit stuff. All right, there's a question in here about Apple Music, I think. Here we go. David Carter. Good morning, Cam. Please, would you address streaming from my Apple to a DAC or a streamer to a DAC? Certainly. If you're talking about your Apple computer, you can just hook a USB up to whatever DAC you have available. So, and then if it doesn't show up, you can go into like the sound settings and then select whichever DAC you have connected to it. It should show up in sound settings. If you want to use Apple Music, you're really limited to either hardwiring into your device. So that could be your phone, could be your computer. And then you'll just have to hook up some headphones. If it's your phone, you're going to need some type of dongle. Apple does make a Lightning to 3.5 millimeter connection if your device is a Lightning device. If it's a USB-C device, you can hook up any USB-C dongle DAC to it. But if you want to use Apple Music on a like traditional streamer, you're limited to right now the FIO R7, which runs off of a Google platform, and then you have to download the Apple Music app, or you can use the Eversolo DMP-A6 or any of their Google-based streamers, and then you can download Apple Music. I hope that answers your question. All right. Whew. Good morning from Moline. I think that's Illinois, maybe. Good morning, David. The deal fell through on the Nakamichi Dragon, FYI. Oh, I'm sorry. That stinks. Howdy, Cam. Watching from England. What up, Lee? How you doing? It's good to see you. Do you think the SMSL A300 is a good speaker amp? Yes, it is. Sounds really good. It has some baked-in EQ settings. So, yeah, I think it's good, for sure. I like it. I'm confused. How can streamers, no DAC, sound different? Aren't they just passing data? Happy holidays. This is a great question, and a question that, is for the ages, right? Because some people would say that they don't sound different. They can't sound different, right? Other people say they do. I'm kind of in the latter camp. I think different streamers can sound different, but what I think the better way to describe it is different power supplies can sound different. So I think the amount of interference, electrical interference going on, the quality of a power supply has a lot to do with that. I think is what's going to impact the sound the greatest. So, yes, I think they can sound different, and they will sound different. I mean, you can get something as simple as like the WMAN Mini, and so this works off a 5-volt power supply, right? So 5-volt would be like any type of cell phone charger or anything that you have like that. There we go. Look how dirty it is. All right, so if you have a really crappy, like let's say you have a 50-cent wall warts, and then you're putting it into a very affordable, nothing wrong with the WMAN Mini. I actually love the WMAN Mini, but it's not going to sound as good as something else that has a better power supply. But I think the question is not really do the streamers sound different. I think it has to do with how good is the power supply. And that's just one. I mean, there's other variables that go into it, but that's one variable. Probably the most significant variable. Oh, we got super chats. Nick Keller, Randy, $5 Canadian. Thank you. Thank you for breaking up my Monday with glorious hi-fi talk. At any of the hi-fi shows, did you get to hear the new RCAM A-series amps? I haven't heard the RCAM. I would love to get some RCAM in. I think they are and got a great reputation. So, yeah. Anyway, I haven't, unfortunately, but I'd love to. Thank you for the super chat. Rob Hawk, look at this. The Canadians are making the Americans, the folks overseas, just look terrible. I've gotten $18.99 Canadian in here. $0, €0, £0, nothing. USBC is the opiate of the masses. I'm kind of glad they're going to USBC. The problem is I've just gotten like to the point where I have so many lightning cables in the house and lightning to USB-A. And now all of a sudden everything's coming out USB-C to USB-C. So I need to go on a cable purge. Like, for instance, I just got this one in. High quality product from Anchor. I paid for this, so this is not a sponsor. So anyway, lightning. USB-C. So anyway, these are good. I like these. And I still have, and the family has a bunch of USB or a bunch of lightning products, iPads, iPhones, AirBuds. I always get that wrong. It's not AirBud. That's a dog. It's AirPods, right? What is it? What is the Apple earbuds called? They're called AirPods. That's what they are. Sorry, it's Monday morning. Here, another $13.99 Canadian. Mr. Jason from Canada. Good grief. Oh, here we go. $5. Thank you, Mr. Jason from Canada. Be careful on that dirt bike. Is the DAC in my Onkyo R750 any good? Probably. It's probably a Burr Brown or a Wolfson or something like that. They're generally pretty good. I mean, they're definitely not the last word in detail retrieval and things like that, but they're passable. And for most, what is the R750? RZ50. The short answer to your question is it's probably pretty good. The long answer to your question is it's probably not as good as even a very affordable, where is it? A very affordable, it's right in front of me, DAC like the SMSL SU1. So anyway, but it's doing a lot of heavy lifting, right? So a home theater receiver is doing everything from HDMI to any optical and stuff like that. So it's probably okay. But if you're going to go 2-channel, you can probably get better fidelity by getting something fairly inexpensive. So, yeah. Billy, what's happening? £4.99. Look at that. Thank you. UK stepping up, listening to Jailbreak. Ooh, as I watch. Very nice. Very, very nice. Randy Meinholz, 1999. Holy cow, thank you. I have an Emotiva Basics preamp. How does the internal DAC compare to external separates you have heard? So I believe the Basics preamp, the PT1, PT2, I've got one right here. I believe that uses the analog devices. I can't remember the chip name, but it's a good DAC. But again, even probably an SU1 is going to sound a little bit cleaner, maybe a little bit more dynamic. I love Emotiva. I've always found that their internal DACs lack a little bit of dynamics compared to other DACs, even affordable ones like the SU1, Gishelli Labs 4493, J2. They're good, though. But you also have to take into consideration, and it's not, this isn't always the case on everything, but you have to take into consideration if you have a $500 preamp, right? So you have a DAC in there, you have a phono stage in there, you have a tuner in there, you have all the componentry for all the analog switching, all the digital switching. So you have to consider like how much of that has been allocated for the DAC section. And in some cases, when you're having a preamp that's mass produced, you have economies of scale and things like that. But they're generally pretty good. I always recommend, if you can, like start off with PT1 or whatever, and then get yourself maybe a step up DAC and just listen to it. And then you make the decision. You can get, if depending upon what your budget allows, you can get something like the SU1, you could get the J2, you could get a cacophony of other DACs and just A/B it for yourself. And then if you're in the return policy, if you don't like it, if you don't think it's good, return it. I did that early on with, funny enough, the TA1, I believe. This was before anybody was sending me stuff, so I was buying everything. I bought a Project Phono preamp. I think it was $99. And I compared it to the phono preamp that was in the TA1. And I ended up sending the Project one back simply because I couldn't hear that big of a difference. So that's what I did. So, and that's what I would encourage everybody else to do. It's one thing for me to tell you this is better, whatever, but it's another thing for you to have your own experience and then make the decision yourself. This, like, reviewing of hi-fi stuff is not a hard gig. The only thing that I have to do is put it up, listen to something else, and then talk about the differences. And I can't talk about what is better for you. But in the situation where you already have one, it's, the only thing you might be out is a little bit of money. I would buy from some place that has a liberal return policy, though. All right. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you so much for the super chat. Wirehead, another $5 Canadian. Any opinions on pairing vintage gear with newer like DAC and streamers? Yes, I love it. I just bought a pair of B&W DM10s to connect to the WMAN amp if it gets here. No, I think vintage and new gear is awesome. It's like putting air conditioning in your vintage car. I don't know. Something like that. But yeah, I think it's awesome. I think people should do more of that. Like, I love like a vintage receiver. I've got this beautiful Kenwood that Lenny from Just Audio gave me. And I just redid my living room. And one of the things I want to do is actually put that vintage piece into the living room because I think it just looks great. And obviously I would need to pair it up with something that has HDMI ARC connection and then a modern DAC and streamer. So yeah, I think that's awesome. And, vintage speakers on modern amps. Very cool. I think it's great. All right. I think we are caught up with all of the super chats. And thank you very much on a Monday morning. All right. Hey, I just bought this is from Timo. Hey, I just bought a pair of Elec Debut 2.0 B5.2s And a Denon PMA 600 NE. Nice. On sale last weekend. I'm so happy. Denon CD player with WMAN Pro incoming. Very nice. Thanks so much for your great advice. You're welcome. That PMA 600 NE is a good, very good piece, man. I like that thing. It's warm, but I think coupled with the 5.2s, and they're going to break in a bit. Those 5.2s are going to break in. I bet that is a great sounding combo. And like that whole thing, I can't remember what the 600 NE costs now, but at one time I think it was $400, maybe $500. So you're under $1,000, and I bet that's a great sounding system. All right. Who's next? All right, I got a lot of, I'm just going to pick one. Patrick, I think it's the analog output stage of the DAC that makes the most difference between different DACs. I would agree with that. Op amps, a variety of things, power supplies, op amps. Yes, 100% agree with that. Recapping my 86 Harman 495i to go with HK cassette and turntable. I've been miserly for decades. That sounds awesome. Are you going to do it yourself, or are you going to have somebody else do it? I would love to do that, but like desoldering something makes me nervous, especially on old boards like that. I'm new to this hobby. I have a Marantz NR1607 receiver, using it as 5.1. I want to get to streamer. Am I better off upgrading the Marantz, or should I just add a streamer like the Eversolo? So I'm actually going to say you should add a separate streamer like the Eversolo. And the reason is because there is a lot, like home theater receivers, especially, I think Marantz uses Hios. Yes. So there's a ton of functionality that they have. Like on paper, it can do all of these things. The problem is most of the time these streamers don't do everything. They can do everything okay. They don't do anything really great outside of home theater. So I love the sound of Marantz. And if I'm buying a receiver to do everything, it's going to be a Marantz, or it's going to be an Emotiva, because I think they both sound the best for straight music. The Pioneer VLX 305 also sounds pretty good. But if you follow receivers, there's upgrades like every 2 years. So buying a separate streamer / DAC, you're going to be keeping up to speed. Plus the DAC in the Eversolo is going to be a lot better than the DAC in the receiver. So that's what I would do. Absolutely, 100%. Because the receivers just don't do, they do everything okay, especially when it comes to music. So anyway, yeah. Going from Denon 4500 to a Ray Juarez, thank you for the $5. Going from Denon 4500 to a 3-channel amp for front 3 of Martin Logan 20s and the 30 center. How much of a difference will it make? Going from Denon 4500 to a 3-channel amp. Oh, okay. I got you. It depends on the amp and it depends on the Denon 4500. I'm assuming the 4500 has preamp outs. Let's see. Denon 4500. Let's see. 9 point. Oh, that's not it. That's a 4700. 4500 maybe an older model. Oh yeah, look at that. It's got all sorts of outputs. Are these preamp out? Yeah, preouts. So I'm gonna say yes, you're gonna hear a difference depending upon the amp. Like if you hook up like a lower end class D amplifier, probably not. But if you hook up some beefy class AB amplifier, probably you will hear a difference. Something from even affordable stuff, something from Emotiva, something from, I think, Monoprice has a 5-channel amplifier. I think you're going to be able to hear a difference quite a bit. Because, again, you're separating out power supplies. You've got more power on tap for your front 3 channels. So, yeah, I would assume you're going to. You may not. That 4500 may be, like, super capable and super awesome. But I would think that you would be able to. And then you have to ask yourself the question, Why would they even include preamp outs if they weren't expecting there to be a quality improvement if you did put a separate amplifier on it? So, yeah. Yeah, I think you'll hear a difference. I hope so. But again, buy something with a return policy, and then if you don't, send it back. That's a great thing. Like, a lot of these questions, I love these questions, but a lot of them you can do on your own. You may have to you may have to spend a little money, and the credit card may have a charge on it for a while, but if you return it, you can always return it. Dennis Beasley, $10. Doesn't even ask for anything. Thank you, Dennis. You're the best. You are the best. I remember when Monoprice was just a place to get dirt cheap cables. LOL. Yeah. Now I will put an asterisk on Monoprice stuff, the monolith stuff. Some of it is really good, but you can also tell that like it's basically just a copy and paste job from somebody else that's actually done the work as far as research and development and stuff. Like some of their, I'm cleaning up the office. Some of their headphones are really good, but then when you put their headphones on, you can tell like nobody actually put this on before they started producing these. And so you got to kind of bend things and everything. I just boxed up some Monoprice amplifiers, Class AB amplifiers. I think if you're getting something that's simple, I think you're fine with Monoprice. Bear in mind, monolith headphones are probably not going to fit. Dropping stuff everywhere. Are probably not going to fit perfectly. I'm going to be very careful. I feel like I'm playing Operation. It's a long way to get these things out. Anyway, these are Monoprice M1070s closebacks. Look how little these are. Look completely natural when you're wearing them. Doesn't look strange at all. Anyway, these are pretty good. And like value for money, you get a lot on paper. But when you put them on, they're not always the most comfortable things on the planet. All right. I think we missed some super chats. All right. ABX Audio File. What's up? Yo, bro. Loving the year and roundups. Thank you. Well done. Cheers to a killer 2023 and best wishes for 24 coffee on us today. Thank you, man. James, you're the best. You need to go check out his channel if y'all aren't subscribed. He's got a great channel. Great person. Very nice. Very nice man. Yeah, and if you haven't checked out the DAC of the year / streamer of the year, that video went up yesterday. So y'all should check that out too. Do you know of any affordable speaker cables that you like, or would you just make your own? Personally, I make my own. I think AudioQuest has some that some people would consider to be kind of okay. I think Blue Jeans cables makes it. You can actually buy AudioQuest cable by the foot and then terminate them yourself. So I have a pair of AudioQuest, but they're not long enough, so I don't use them. The ones that I use the most are one that a patron made me, and I think that is kind of like a build your own Kimber style of a cable. So he didn't buy it from Kimber, but I think he bought the same wire that Kimber uses, and then he just terminated them himself. But yeah, I think that's a fun and easy way to get into some DIY audio and save a ton of money. You can do a little bit of research and figure out some of these big cable manufacturers that are charging a lot for their cables, and then you use the same materials. But AudioQuest, their speaker cable by the foot isn't like obnoxiously expensive. I think depending upon which you get. But and then most of the stuff that I've made is just, I just buy stuff off of Amazon that's like 7% copper, and then I just terminate myself. But yeah. So that's what I do. You can get like 100-foot. I actually made a how to build your own speaker cable video. It was kind of fun way back, like 2 years ago. Anyway, I think I bought like 100 feet of cable, and all the stuff was about 30 or 40 bucks. And then it looks good. Pretty solid. No lie. Can I pair 4 SSCS5 speakers with a Dayton 1200 sub to a STRDH? I think that's a Sony receiver, 5.2 receiver. Or could I connect an amp to the receiver? Okay. So, I'm a little bit confused. First, let's look up STRDH590. I think that's a Sony. STDR. It's making me chuckle. STDR. What is that? STRDH. STRDH 590. Sony. Yeah, look at that. I was right. Okay. So, you're going to have to connect your... Now let's look at the Dayton 1200. So you just need to hook up the Dayton. You just need to hook the subwoofer up to the receiver. Why did that Dayton? Here we go. Sub 1200. 120 watt subwoofer. All right, let's look at the back of this. Yeah, so you just, what you do is you just hook the subwoofer out from the receiver. Subwoofer out. You have 2 subwoofer outs. So you hook one up from the receiver. You go into the mono portion of the 1200 sub, and then you just hook up the speakers to your receiver. And yes, you can hook up not 4 pair. You can hook up 5. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you can hook up 5 to the receiver. Can I pair 4? Okay, sorry. 4. Yes, you absolutely can. Sorry, no lie. But just run the subwoofer out from the receiver to the sub. Monday morning. Top speakers, $300 to $700 on the combination of mid-range clarity and details. Most Emotiva speakers are out of stock with no estimation at the moment. Very good point. And that's what I would recommend. You also have the mid-range clarity and details. You also have the R200, R100 from Polk. They're very good. You have the Unify 2.0 from Emotiva, not Emotiva, ELAC. You're going to have to burn those in for a long time. They're around $400 to $500 depending upon the price. So you have those. You have R200 and R100 is like the easy recommendation from Polk. You have the JBL Studio, but I wouldn't buy those unless they're on sale. If you want mid-range clarity, the KEF Q350 have a ton of mid-range clarity. You also have the RSL speakers, the monitors. So they're the MTMs. Let's see. RSL speakers. Let me tell you those. They're fairly affordable. They sell those individually. Speakers. All right. So it is the CG23M is the RSL speaker. And how much are those? CG23. Those are $150 a piece, so $300 for the pair. But you're gonna have to get a subwoofer for sure because they don't dig down very deep. What other speaker was I really impressed with? That's $700. You can get the Triangle Bro 3s. I don't think they're super clean though through the mid range, as clean as some of the other speakers I've talked about. SVS Prime bookshelves. They're very good. $600. Actually, they're really good. Go with the little clips. Oh, you could go with the Wharfdale Evo 4.1s. I think those are less than $700. They're really good. Very good. Very good. So hopefully that's some options for you. Ryan Joffrey, $1.99. Thank you. Are you reviewing any turntables soon? I don't have any new ones in. So no new ones. But I mean, if you're wanting a turntable, Fluence RT85, great turntables, $500. You can get any of them. I would start at the RT82 and go up though. U-Turn makes awesome turntables, affordable turntables. You got some Project stuff that's pretty good. That's fairly affordable. Monoprice actually makes a fairly decent turntable. And then you have Audio-Technica. I was really unimpressed with the Audio-Technica LP120 that I got in. People rave about that thing, and like me comparing it, even the build quality, to the Fluence stuff, like, was not in the same ballpark at all. Ooh, JR, $5. Thank you, JR. Chris Dugan, $10. You think there'll be more sales closer to Christmas? Looking for Polk R200. Yeah, I think they're going to kind of go in and out at this point. So sometimes they'll be on sale. Sometimes they won't be on sale. But I think that speaker was R200. I think that was 700 or 750. So it will probably go on sale down to 650, if not 600. You just got to look, like, every day. You just kind of pop online, check out Crutchfield, and see what's on sale and what's not on sale. But yeah, they'll be going in and out as far as sales till the end of the year. All right. We got no lie. Can the receiver deliver power to everything? So it'll deliver power to your speakers, but the subwoofer is actually powered by itself. So the subwoofer has its own amplifier. That's why when you look at the Dayton 1200, it says 125 watts. So it actually has its own 125 watt amplifier in there. The only thing the subwoofer is taking is a signal from the receiver. So the receiver will power all your speakers that you connect to it, and then the subwoofer will power the bass, and it will just be pulling a signal. So yeah, you're good to go. Just run a single RCA off of the back of your receiver to the mono inputs of the of your subwoofer, and then run your speakers off of the receiver. Icarus, 200. As someone new to vinyls and speaker setup and a budget between $1 to $2K, would you still recommend starting with an entry-level build like a $350 one with the RT80? If not, do you have any recommendations? And a budget between... So if your budget for the turntable is $1,000 to $2,000, I would go with the RT85 because you're getting a Ortofon 2M Blue and you're getting a better motor, and yeah, and then you're getting an acrylic platter. So I think there's a lot. It would cost you a lot more to try to upgrade the RT80, and actually you wouldn't be able to upgrade the RT80 because it has a different motor than the RT85. So that's what I would do. Is I would start off with something. If you think you're going to be into vinyl, I would start off with the 85. Because that's actually the funny thing is the most expensive Fluence turntable is actually the turntable that has the highest value because it has that 2M Blue cartridge, which is like a $220 cartridge by itself. So yeah, that's what I would do. And what you can do is, if you're kind of trying to figure out how good of a value a turntable is figure out what cartridge they have on it, and then look that cartridge up and see how much it costs. And the price of a turntable, oftentimes on budget turntables, is often directly proportional to how much the cartridge costs. And if there's something that has, like, if you're looking at a couple of turntables, they both have a 2M Blue or both have a 2M Red, and one's like a lot more expensive than the other one, then usually it's not as good of a deal. Usually, not in every instance. Rick Regula, $5. Thank you so much. Dave, Rockin' Richards. Look at that. What do you call it? Picture. $4.99 pounds. WMAN amp or Cambridge AXA35 with cheap WMAN and SMSL DAC. Oh, well, that AXA35 is very rich sounding. And if you get the WMAN Pro, then you pretty much have all the functionality. The only reason that I would say go with the amp over like the Cambridge AXA is if you have harder to drive speakers that are going to take a little bit more juice, if you want the convenience, or most importantly, if you need the HDMI ARC. If you don't need the HDMI ARC, then the AXA 35 with the SMSL SU1 and like a WMAN Pro is going to be pretty good. But I don't think you're going to get there. I think the AXA 35 is actually $350 or $400. So I'm going to walk this back. So it depends upon what your budget is. The WMAN amp sounds really good, though. Sounds really good. Really good. And it's so convenient. You just plug it in and you're done. So, depends. But the AXA35's got that rich, warm tonality that you're not going to get with the WMAN amp. Even by, messing with the EQ, you're still not going to get that Cambridge AXA35 sound. So it depends on what you want. Trucker hat one, $10. I love that trucker hat one. You're welcome, Icarus. Look at this, Steve Zeidman, $9.99, late to the party. Hey, Randy. Hey, Steve. What's happening? All right, now we can go back. I think we're all caught up. Thank you so much for all the super chats this morning. You guys are awesome. People are awesome. Listen to Bryson before buying my Burmester amp. Ooh. I saw some of that stuff at a Expona a couple years ago. Burmeister stuff was crazy. I'm thinking about buying the CSS Crichton 1TDX with an Emotiva amp. Would this setup work listening at 100 dB plus? Listen, I'm going to say something. There is very few speakers that can confidently play at 100 dB. And there is no reason why anybody should be listening at 100 dB. Maybe transients that pop above 100 dB. I was at a rock concert, like a for real rock concert. It was Seven Dust, Static X, and then 2 opening acts. And I was actually sitting behind the sound board, and there was a guy that was controlling the levels, and he never allowed it to get over 100 dB. You have to also think about how much power does it take to get a speaker to 100 dB. And I know that we have sensitivity, and let's say I think the 1TDX have a sensitivity of 87 or 88 dB. Okay, so in a perfect situation at 3 feet or 1 meter at 1 watt, you're getting 88 dB. To increase it to 98 dB, you need 10 times the power in a perfect situation. And on paper, you'd think that, 10 watts, I can get 100 dB. Most speakers, though, they don't even stay together. Some of them start to distort, but you don't get that clean power, or you don't get that cleanliness really above 85 to 90 dB. Most speakers, bookshelf speakers, start to kind of struggle around 90 dB sustained. And then getting from 90 to 100 dB is going to be very difficult. I mean, if you really want to, first of all, if you listen at 100 dB, if you listen at 90 dB for any sustained amount of time, you're going to get hearing damage, fairly quickly. 100 dB is loud. It is loud. 85 dB is loud. 95 dB, which is, so every 10 dB is considered to be twice as loud. So going from 85 to 95 dB is twice as loud. Going from 95 to 105 dB is twice as loud. Anyway, I wouldn't recommend listening to anything really 95, anything above transients that hit 95. But to answer your question, I don't think any amp is going to be able to keep you sustained at 100 dB unless you're just spending a ton of money on it. And I don't think the Crichtons are going to hold together at 100 dB. Anyway, that was a long way to go for that. Just be careful, man. Like, that's so loud. You don't want to listen to music that loud. Ed Dents, 1033. Thank you. 13.99 Canadian equals 1033 US. Do you think most ears could detect a sound improvement of the AKM 4493 ES DAC and the WMAN Pro Plus compared to an older Sabre 90 18 chip and a 5-year-old integrated amplifier? It depends. Like, so 4493, like, so this SMSL SU1 4493. The JPL Labs J2 4493 edition is the 4493. There's a bunch of other DACs. Anyway, what I'm saying is, like, it's not the DAC chip that generally makes the sound difference. It's usually the analog output stage that makes the sound difference. The 90, like, you can have an older DAC chip and it can still sound awesome. But I mean, if you don't have a WMAN and you're looking at the WMAN Pro or you're looking at the WMAN Pro Plus, what you can do is buy the WMAN Pro Plus and then RCA out of that into your integrated amp and then see, you know, play some music, see how it sounds. And then digital out of the WMAN Pro Plus into your older integrated amplifier. Listen, see if you hear a difference. And then if you don't hear a difference, send the WMAN Pro Plus back and get the WMAN Pro. And then you're good to go. There's some DACs that have a 4493 that I think are going to be better. But it depends upon the analog output stages, generally speaking. So anyway. Yeah, Billy, hit the like, chaps. Share the love. Thank you. Yes, please. That would be awesome if you like this. Trucker Hat 1, $5. Thank you again. I really enjoy the channel. I need to replace the UB52 with something with a boost in the 1 to 5K range where I have mild hearing loss. Recommendations. Oh, Klipsch, B&W. They have a boost in there. You can also EQ it a little bit with what you have, depending upon what you have hooked up to them. But yeah, that's what I would suggest. Is a Klipsch got a pop around 2. I think B&W have a pop around about the same area. Yeah, that's what I would do. So those are 2 good alternatives that definitely have a rise. Klipsch has a bit of a dip actually before 1K, but then it goes up to about 2K and then kind of bounces around a little bit. There you go. Truck right. Use digital EQ and keep your speakers. Yep, that's another option. But it's not as fun to use the EQ as it is to buy new speakers, is it? Rick Regula. I'm being serious. Buying new speakers is fun. Like, who doesn't love new speaker day? Rick, is there an easy way? I use Amazon Music mainly to display. I'm so sorry. To display the lyrics to my video screen the way Amazon Music app does while streaming to the WMAN. Is there an easy way I use Amazon to display the lyrics to my video screen? Okay. So, I mean, if you're running like an Apple TV or like an Amazon TV, you can download the Amazon Music app. I think, and actually, I don't think, I know there's a way that you can display the music on your TV on that. I'm not sure if you're using it on a computer, but I know what you're saying. Like when you're running your phone, and you can actually, I think there's a button called lyrics or whatever. changing gears a little bit. Yesterday I was putting up the Christmas tree and working on the house, decorating the house for Christmas and stuff. And like I pulled up Tidal, and Tidal has like it was a video mix. So like it was like 90s like grunge music and stuff. And it was videos. It was so much fun. So I just had videos going on the TV. It was a ton of fun. I think Amazon Music may have videos, but I know Tidal does. Ryan Joffrey, $1.99. Thank you. How far down the rabbit you gone with car audio? Oh, I used to be more into car audio than I am into home audio. The problem is like with the advent of integrated everything on a car, it's not like back in the day where you had a single DIN or a double DIN, slot that you could just easily upgrade your head unit. If anything, now about the best you can do on some of these integrated car audio is to put a little DSP in there, which I've done before. I actually had a Ford Explorer. It was a company car. Probably shouldn't be admitting this, but I put some DSP in there, and then I was able to get some subs off of that. I put some amps in there and a sub. But it's harder than you would think to actually put a new head unit into a car. It used to be so easy, like back in the 80s and 90s. Pull the old one out, put the new one in, run some amps, put some new speakers in, and you're done. But now it's there's like car audio channels out there. So I'm not the guy now, but 20 years ago, I was pretty up to speed on car audio. Is there a sound quality difference when you use an Android phone, iPad, or your computer as your streaming source? I'm using a WMAN Pro as a streamer. So if you're using an Android device, most of the time it resamples the music. Now, whether or not that impacts actual sound quality, there's an argument there. iPad, I think, is bit perfect. Your computer generally is bit perfect unless it's but you have to put the streaming platform that you're using into what's called exclusive mode, and then it's bit perfect out of that. Now, the other thing to consider is the output. USB sometimes is a bit of a harder animal to get everything working for audio out. And in speaking to some people that actually make DACs for a living, they don't like using USB. So a lot of times they like optical or coaxial as the output or the input to their DAC. So sound quality difference when you use an Android phone, iPad, or your computer. I think all of them can give you excellent fidelity. But the WMAN Pro is probably the easiest. And frankly, the least headache inducing out of all of those. Unless you're like, you love computers and stuff. So, yeah. Holy cow. John D, 1999 super sticker. Thank you, John. Thank you so much. I got Dennis Beasley, another $5. Thank you so much, Dennis. Can I run a Steinheiser soundbar? That sounds like an awesome soundbar. I'm kidding. I know you're Sennheiser. With an NADC 399 2.2 system, or should I only be able to run each at one time? All the components have HDMI ARC. You're only going to be able to run one at the same time. I think you're like saying, can you combine them somehow to make like a bigger multi-channel? I don't think so. So let me look up NADC 399. NADC 399. Yeah, that's just an integrated amp. That's a good one. Or it's an expensive one. All right, let's look at the back. All right, you got phono in, line in, outputs. You have speaker AB. All right. Now, you may not even be able to run both of those channels at the same time, But to short answer your question, no, is you can't combine those because the sound bar is powered. So basically, the sound bar is like an integrated amplifier in and of itself. It's an integrated amplifier with integrated speakers. The C399 is a traditional integrated amplifier, so it's running passive speakers off of there. It does have 2 speaker outputs, but you'll have to look and see if you can run those simultaneously. You usually can. It just depends on the impedance of the speakers that you're running at the same time. So oftentimes you can run all 4 speakers, but you're not going to be able to combine your soundbar with it, unfortunately. I mean, you could play stuff at the same time, maybe, but it's going to be hard to control like levels and everything separately. And then somehow you'd have to like split the HDMI connection, or yeah, the short answer is no. If you get really creative, then maybe yes, but no, unfortunately. All right. Did I get everybody? All right. I'm tired. Monday morning. I hope you all had. Hey, is any college football fans in here? If you're a college football fan, let me know what you think about Florida State being left out of the playoffs. Scandalous. Kind of crazy, huh? 13-0, win your conference title. Still not get into the college playoff because of the Alabama SEC bias. College football talk with the cheap audio man here at Monday morning live. Anyway, I can see arguments on it both ways, but I mean, like if Alabama hadn't beaten Georgia and Texas hadn't beaten Alabama, they wouldn't be in, right? JPL Player for Windows shows PC audio is bad. JPL Player for Windows PC shows PC audio is bad. There you go. There you have it, folks. PC audio is bad. Thumbs down, Martin T. Yeah. FSU. Here's what I think. I think Georgia still should have been in, and then Florida State should have been in. Now, Florida State probably would get destroyed the first round because then, because I think it was 2014, Ohio State won or lost the Big Ten championship, still got in, and then ended up winning the whole thing. So that's what they should have done. Put Georgia in still, and then left Texas and Florida, or Texas and Alabama out because they were like 7th and 8th, ranked 7th and 8th. Anyway, I keep saying morning. I have just had fish and chips as it is tea time. That sounds delicious. I'm gonna have lunch with an old buddy that I haven't seen in a long time, who incidentally is an audiophile, and so I'm bringing him a bunch of stuff. We're having lunch. What subs do you like these days? What subs do I like these days? Like sub sandwich? I like meatball sub. They're pretty good. C. Fraser, 1977. Anyone else feeling the Exponent itch yet? I'm not sure I can make it till April. I just I started a support group. Oh, yeah. It's awesome getting everybody together. Best speaker pairing for Fozzy Audio V3, thinking about JBL Stage A130. That would be okay. I think you want something with a little bit of thump on the bottom end for the V3s. I'm trying to think. What is a little bit thump? Oh, the Polk ES series. I think would be a great pairing with the V3. They're fun. Oh, Jersey Mike's hands up. I'm not a big sub sandwich guy. $10 from Nick Butterfield. I added a Monoprice Select Premium 200 watt 8-inch dual port subwoofer to Edifier R17 BTS. Do you think that a good combo for a small bedroom? What should the ideal volume and crossover be set at? Okay, so I actually own the R1700 BTS. It was in my little work setup, and I think it wasn't the, it was a Monoprice. It was an 8-inch sub, but it wasn't the Premium 200. So you got to cross it over high because those edifiers, they say they go down to like 50 something hertz, but they do not. I would cross it over at 90. But yeah. And then you're just going to need to kind of play around with the gain setting on the or not the edifier, the Monoprice to get it to sound good. But yeah, cross it over high. Those are 1700s, especially if you get them away from the wall and you get close up to them. They sound pretty good. But they don't make any bass to speak of. I can't even believe they sell edifiers without a subwoofer output because they don't sound good without a subwoofer. Anyway, John Shepler, the only college bowl type game I care about is the Hero Trophy game. John, I'm sad that college football's over. It seemed like it just started. AKM 4499 versus R2R Dex, Ares 2 Enyo review on the horizon. I actually, the people from Denafrips actually reached out to me a while back. We did talk about, they haven't followed up with me though. But again, not all AKMs sound the same. I'll tell you this though, the Shelly Labs with the Sparkos op amps is as good, if not better, than the Denafrips Ares 2, the one that I heard. So, but I haven't heard like the latest Denafrips. I haven't heard the Enyo. And not all R2R decks sound the same. Not all 4499 sound the same. But I can put my name on the 4499 with the Sparkos op amps upgrade as being like one of the best decks I've ever heard. If not the best deck I've ever heard. That's for me though. Like my best is not your best. And I'm not a kingmaker. I'm not saying that my opinion is the best, biggest, and greatest opinion and the rightest opinion on the planet. So it all depends on you. I think we should take things with a grain of salt if anybody is saying like their opinion of this product is gospel. We're not. We're just human. Chris Studebaker, your thoughts on WMAN Mini Optical versus Pro Optical? Maybe significant difference due to processor? Can check out Fun Metal Songs Laser Shooting Dinosaur by Angus Mix 6 MC Thunder by Electric Callboy. WMAN Mini Optical versus Pro Optical. I haven't done that comparison. I mean, I could do it, but I don't think the WMAN, does the WMAN Pro come with its own power supply? I don't think it does. So they're both 5 volt. It may be the exact same like hardware inside here as it, I think, because I think it's the same DAC too. So maybe I like all the extra space in the WMAN Pro is just like for the analog inputs and the other stuff. So yeah. Hold on, let me. All right. 1058. I don't think there's going to be that big of a difference. And if there is, it's going to be probably really difficult to hear. What's wrong with the volume, Randy? I don't know. Everybody else seems to be. Anybody having issues with the volume? I noticed that you're a producer on Vinyl Attack's channel. Looks like you're looking for ways to grow. What's the next year look like for Cam? No, I just like contribute. I'm a patron of his. So I'm not a producer, like a real producer. What's next year look at for? I'm just going to make videos, man. That's it. Same thing. Make videos. Try to make more of them. But yeah, make videos. I need to make more. I might have some other people like make videos and then I'll post them to my channel. So like I won't be the only guy posting the Cheap Audio Man. And that way I can get more videos. I mean, the goal is to have a video up every day. Unfortunately, I just don't have time or the bandwidth to do that. But I think if there's some folks that I'm talking to that I trust that I may post videos. So they'll be making videos for the Cheap Audio Man. and then I'll post them up there. So yeah, it's 11:58, Randy. LOL. Not here, Tim. Not in Central Standard Time. Jim R, $10. Keep up the great work, Randy. Really enjoy the channel. Would appreciate an amp recommendation for my clip. Forte 4s, currently using SMSL DR9 SU9N. Yeah, Forte 4s, man. Nothing against SMSL. All right. They make good stuff. I don't know the DR9 though. I'll tell you what though. It wasn't the Fortes. It was the, what is it? I don't know. Everyone that's a huge Klipsch heritage person is screaming right now. But they scaled really well. And the funny thing is they scaled with really powerful class AB. So I would look at something that's got some juice on tap. And if you got the budget, like the differential amplifiers from Emotiva are spectacular. Now you have to have a differential front end for them. But yeah, they're spectacular. Not cheap, but they sound really good. All right. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for joining me and hanging out on a Monday morning. It was a lot of fun. Sorry, my brain is not perfectly engaged right now, but ton of fun. Y'all have a great week. We're having a video coming out hopefully tomorrow on the PSB. Not PSB. That's not right. PMC. First PMC speaker I've ever reviewed. So hopefully that's coming out tomorrow. So a lot of other videos coming out. We're going to do the best amp 2023, best speaker 2023, all that good stuff coming out this month here on the Cheap Audio Man. So anyway, appreciate y'all. Have a great week. Love you. Love you. Thank you so much for your support. Bye.